with a customized plan of personally compounded supplements or supplements or foods that you know are tailored to your genes. Um, and you need to understand that not only just food, but exercise and lifestyle changes are going to be so important to you. It's not a one-stop shop. You have to take care of every little piece, the exercise, the food, the sleep, for that improved health and well-being.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Diagnosis, a podcast to raise your awareness, decisions, and voice for alternative practices so you can take back control of your health. I'm Rita De Michele, your host, a mindset and empowerment coach, and the founder of the ONUS platform. Join me each week so you can create the health of your dreams. Are you tired of taking your prescribed supplements or trying another trending product, hoping it'll be the answer for your improved health? To be left disappointed with your results again? Well, there's a missing piece, and it's called Nutritional Genomics. Today's guest is Patty Lach Daigle, health advocate who will be educating us why personalized nutrition is so important. Welcome, Patty.
Hi, thank you. That was a great introduction.
Thank you, and I'm so glad I didn't stumble over your name. I was
No, great
practicing
job.
that.
Great job.
I love the fact that you are a passionate advocate because that's what we need in the world, around people's health and well-being. We need more people who are doing their own research. And I think it's safe to say that you've come to the stage where you're basically like a biohacker, and I love that.
Yeah, more than likely. Biohacking has become a big part of me, especially with the holistic doctors that I'm in tune with, because that's all they're doing now.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And for anyone who doesn't know what we mean by biohacker, it's where you want to unlock, well, for you specifically, you want to unlock the secrets of the DNA to transform our health through nutrition genomics. So,
Biohacking has a different bunch of different modalities.
yes,
This is just one piece of it.
yeah, absolutely. So the nutritional genomics, I think that's pretty much a new term for most people. Is it mainly for prevention of disease, or is it more around discovery and the correction of deficiencies that we may have?
It's more the latter. It's how your foods can affect your genes because taking in different nutrients can actually turn our genes on and off like light switches. And if you're eating the wrong food for genes that you may have mutations in already, meaning they may already be damaged, you can cause more damage. And you don't want that happen because once they continue to get damaged, they can actually die off and cause you to age earlier and quicker.
Wow. And what are, when you say about these mutations for people, what do you mean by that?
So when our our DNA has two strands in it, one from our mother and one from our father, and they could be damaged from genetically, so you may be born with it damaged, or you may have a clean one and it may get damaged due to alcohol, other exterior environmental things that can cause damage to our bodies, free radicals, or just uh,
Environment, like our
chemical
lifestyle.
environment and chemicals. Yes, and our lifestyle too.
Mm.
If we're drinking too much alcohol, that can all damage your DNA.
Right. And some of these mutations that you're talking about, well, one of the trending one now is like MTHFR.
Oh, that's a bad one. So I have a sheet that talks about how our genes are grouped, because not every gene is in every part of our body. Some of them function our brain, some of them function our heart, our gut. So they're all different, but the MTHFR gene is in every organ of our body.
Oh,
And
wow. I
if
didn't know
it gets
that.
damaged, and if it's damaged, your whole system can pretty much start to age faster and shut down quicker if you're not feeding it right.
And is that what this testing does? So this testing can identify that you have the MTHFR, or does it
It
just,
does.
it
Yep,
does?
like this is a test sheet, and where you see, I know it's hard to see, but here's the MTHFR, and this particular person has a red where she's got a double copy of that gene, meaning she's got her two strands are both damaged.
Mm.
And that can be reversed with the right nutrition. But if you keep eating, for instance, with MTHFR, you have to stay away from potatoes, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers. They are not healthy for that gene. Neither is caffeine. Caffeine is not good for that gene either.
Oh,
So
that's
there's a
interesting. So they're like the nightshade vegetables,
correct, correct, exactly,
which most people say stay away from for arthritis.
exactly. But it's not just the arthritis. They probably have the MTHFR that's causing the arthritis because they're
Yes,
not eating for their genes.
that is really interesting because MTHFR is all throughout my family and my husband's family, and
Oh,
my son has the double strain. So,
okay.
so this will give us that great information to know instead of just thinking a little bit of everything is healthy, what is specifically healthy for your DNA, for your
And,
constitution.
and that does come out in your reports if you order a test kit. And unfortunately, we're not in Australia right yet, but for anyone in the United States and Canada, we're opening in the Philippines as well. When you do your DNA test kit, you get four reports back. And on those reports, it tells you what foods you need to stay away from. And we actually compound nutrition specifically based on your DNA needs so it can start helping to correct or reverse the issue that has happened to those damaged genes.
Right.
Let me tell you a quick story about the
Yes.
MTHFR. 30 years ago, my husband and I got married, and we tried to have a baby to complete our family because we each already had a child. And I had two miscarriages and a tubal pregnancy. And it wasn't until I had my epigenetic testing and nutritional genomics testing that I found out we both have a double copy of that MTHFR, but we have different models of them, I'll call them. So us trying to have babies would have never happened. We would have had deformed or children that just would have had major problems had they been able to suffice. But if you have a double MTHFR, either you or your spouse, um, the body cannot hold a pregnancy if you cannot convert folate. And that's what that gene does. It helps convert folate to folic acid. And without that correct amount or correct folic acid, you cannot hold a child or that child will have deformities.
Well, someone listening to this, that's sound pretty scary, and I hope that there is something that within this testing gives them hope
Yeah.
that you
Like
can
spinal
correct this.
bifida, ADD,
Mm,
ADHD are some of them.
right. Because I follow a lot of, and I do interview a lot of functional doctors, and quite a few of these professionals believe that, our genes only make up or only influence like 5 to 10% of our health, of what we experience. It's mainly, the epigenetics, meaning our environment and our mindset and our family history, as in behaviors, etc., that turn on and turn off these genes. Yet you believe our genes are influencing the way we metabolize the different nutrients. So why should
It's all
people?
part of it. Yes.
So is that the main reason why you consider that people should actually be doing this testing when planning their diet?
Planning their diet, planning to have a family. The epigenetics is a gives you a lot more information than our nutritional genomics. That's why I did both. The epigenetics doesn't tell you what foods you need to eat, where
Mm,
the nutritional genomics does. So they each have their place. So it just
mm,
depends what you want out of your lifestyle changes.
right. So, this information, I mean, it sounds incredible, and it sounds like something everybody needs to know for better health if you don't want to go down the disease road. So, understanding this information, doing this test and having this information, does that mean you have to stay away from those foods forever, or having this information means you can correct what's gone wrong with your genes?
It can help correct, but you'll fall off the bandwagon and just go backwards again if you start eating wrong again or drinking wrong or whatever the situation is, smoking. All of those are going to continue to damage. You
Mm,
can't expect everything to stay reversed if you're going to go continue to do what caused the damage to begin with.
right. I can see why I can see why I have an aversion to eggplant and tomatoes.
Could be why your body's telling you to stay away.
Well, you know, when you're younger, you, you just innately know what you like and what you don't like. And most of the time, we're labeled as fussy eaters, but it
Right.
could be that we're just intuitively aware of what's not working for us. Definitely when I was younger, or actually until I went to Italy when I was about 19, I never drank coffee. I liked the smell of it, but I couldn't tolerate it. I still cannot tolerate black tea. I never liked raw tomato. I was never a great fan of eggplant. All of those sort of things. And people would go, "Oh my God, what sort of Italian are you?" But I just, knew intuitively that it wasn't working. Yet, as an adult, we tend to override that and go with what our friends are doing. Oh, my friends drink coffee, so I'm going to start drinking coffee. And
Yeah.
do you feel that happens? Have you ever heard where people, when they're younger, they may have this MTHFR or some other kind of gene mutation, but it's not affecting them as much when they're younger, but it's once they start aging or women getting into menopause that you start seeing the impact of the.
Well, it does affect our homocysteine levels. So when our hormones change, the homocysteine levels do make some changes as well. Um, and that's even a more time to stay away from the sugars, the highly processed sugars, the high fructose, because that just cannot get processed properly in our bodies. And uh, if you've got any parasites running around in your body, all you're doing is feeding those parasites as well, which is going to continue to shut your body down. So, um, I I guess I'm kind of jumping off track, but that's where I recommend a parasite cleanse at least twice a year. And I learned that from one of the parasite biohacking groups that I belong to. And if you're traveling overseas or like to a third world countries, please make sure you come home and do a cleanse because you don't know what you have picked up from to the travels.
Parasites do have, I mean, they do have an incredible influence on the state of our body and the state of our health.
Yes.
So if we can go back to my audience is mainly people with chronic health conditions, unresolved health conditions where they've gone through so many different practitioners and still aren't any better off. They're still not finding the root cause to their condition or what aggravates it. Can something like this help people in that situation?
Yes, it helped me. It helped me. Not that I want to go having a baby at 66 years old, but if I wanted to, I've been taking the right folate now for the past year and a half. So I could, go do that if I wanted to, and if I was younger. It's you can uncover how you can achieve better health. Um, because number one, when we have optimized nutrient absorption, it's going to ensure your body receives the right nutrients in the correct forms, enhancing our overall health. But it also reduces our risk of chronic diseases, those autoimmune diseases that kick in when we're not feeding our genes properly. That's mostly where our autoimmune diseases are coming from. Heart disease, diabetes, Hashimoto's. Um, we need to learn to just feed our bodies better and the way they need to be fed.
I can see huge advantages, and this is a little off topic, but I can see huge advantages for people like athletes and those
Mhm.
who, really need their body to be performing at peak performance. But that's a small amount of the population. What we really want is people to be able to have peak health.
Right,
Really, and I think I totally agree with you with the fact that nothing works better than a personalized approach for you.
right.
That blanket approach just isn't working anymore. People are just too diverse with too many different um, issues that they would like to get on top of. And that's what I like about this. Like, we can go to a nutritionist or a naturopath, and I think that's amazing. But do they really know that that particular food or supplement is exactly what you need?
And if they haven't tested you,
That's
I mean,
it.
there's naturopaths that do muscle testing, and they can usually muscle test you if you're holding the food in your hand, and they'll test your muscles to see if it weakens you or not. But that isn't always going to tell you if you're going to have better metabolism, because if you're understanding how your body processes those foods, those fats, those carbs, and those proteins, it allows for your diet to be optimal to help with your metabolism, to help with that weight management as well.
Mm. So basically, what you're doing is this test finds the specific nutrients or supplements, like either food or supplementation, that is best for your genes for optimal
Correct.
health. So I figure you're changing one's biochemistry by doing this.
I have to say yes, because you're not um, giving it the the fats and the carbs that are clogging up your arteries. You're feeding and energizing your cells, and those cells, if they're not energized properly, you're going to age faster. Um, the it's like this analogy. You're driving a vehicle,
Mm,
and that vehicle's running low on gas, and you pull up to a gas station. You have regular or you have diesel. What are you going to put in your vehicle? Well, whatever it calls for, mostly regular. But if you've got a diesel truck and you're trying to put regular gas in that diesel truck, it's going to shut that engine down. Same way with the vehicle. If you're trying to put diesel in that regular
mm,
gas vehicle,
mm,
it's not going to run optimally, and it's probably going to shut it down as well. So
mm.
it's what are you feeding your cells to give it the right energy it needs to run at its optimal best?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that. And I can see the implications of this for people that have ADHD or neurodiversity, depression, a lot of the OCDs, anything like that. They do say a lot of that is connected to our diet. So if
Absolutely.
you are testing and you can test what supplements, even though one person may have ADHD, there's a whole range of ADHDs. There's a whole
Right.
range, so what works for this person with ADHD may not work for you with ADHD. It's just like giving an antidepressant to one person and they're got their life back, and someone else it just absolutely has no effect. So I
Like
can,
I personally cannot take antidepressants. They're SSRI drugs,
mm,
and I can't take them. They make me hallucinate. And I found that out when I did my epigenetic testing.
right.
Um, so yeah, and you don't know how one person than the other is detoxing because we have detox genes in our body. And if our body can't detox the chemicals or the medicines or whatever it is properly or absorb it properly, it's going to cause more issues.
It is because that means you're not utilizing it and
Correct.
moving it out of your body. So you're going to have a build-up.
Correct.
This is quite profound when you think about it, of how it can really help someone can really tailor their health to their, to their makeup. So, what are some of the common misconceptions that you deal with around this sort of genetic testing and personalized nutrition that you'd like to dispel?
Um, well, number one, people say your genes can't be changed. Well, the truth is your DNA cannot change. You are who you are what you are, but the damage that has been done to them can be um, reversed in some instances. If they're actionable genes, which is what our genes are that we check for, ours are specifically called actionable genes
What does that
that
mean?
can, they have researched and found that the damage can be reversed scientifically with the right nutrition.
Right.
Not every gene can be, but are specifically the ones that are specifically actionable can be.
And they're the ones that you actually test in
Correct.
this test that people can get.
Correct.
You're only testing the actionable genes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So someone who has a chronic health condition, say like they've already got arthritis, taking this test may not necessarily reverse their arthritis, but may stop it from progressing. Is that right?
It should, yes. Like I used to have really bad arthritis. My hands used to hurt so bad I couldn't open a jar. When I cut all the foods out that I learned were inflammatory to me, strawberries, potatoes, all those nightshades, um, all of the high histamine foods, which is spinach and shrimp. My arthritis hasn't hurt in a year and a half.
That's incredible. So so you may not reverse what you have, like were just saying, or can you reverse what you have? Can
I
you?
mean,
Yeah.
I still have joints that are bigger. That part of it doesn't go away, but the pain, the inflammation and pain will be subsided if you pay attention to what you're feeding yourself.
Inflammation, that is a big word because that is something that, I don't like to call it a buzzword because it's very important, but you hear it all over social media now, inflammation.
Mhm.
Can you talk to us a little bit about inflammation for anyone who's listening to this episode who's not quite sure what you mean by that?
So, inflammation again can be caused from our outside influences or the foods we eat, shampoos, even our body lotions. If you're using body lotions that are the cheap ones off the shelf and if you're not reading the ingredients and learning what those ingredients are on those labels, you could just be causing more damage to your body than not.
Mm,
Um, there is a truth about buying organic, even though a lot of people say, yeah, that's just a buzz thing. It's not. Organic means, or vegan means they normally are safe products and they've been tested and gone through a regimen of uh, knowing that they're going to be okay for you. But here's the next thing, even though if it's organic, it still may not be good for you. If you're eating organic potatoes and you have that MTHFR, you're still going to be causing some issues with your body. So you got to know your body and know what you're feeding it and what maybe even drugs. When you do an epigenetic test, they actually have a drug portion of it where it can tell you what drugs your body should or should not take.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
I
anybody
don't.
who has pain in their body, well, that's inflammation.
Mhm.
Mm. Patty, to finish off, you have a story, you have a personal story of why you actually went into this. Can you just give us a quick overview of your story?
Sure. About 5 years ago in October, I had cut my finger, and they had to do surgery to or sew it back on. So she gave me a vaccine, a tetanus shot. And within 6 months, I had lost 30 pounds, lost all my muscle tone, um, and was very lethargic. My immune system was shutting down. My whole
Wow.
entire body was shutting down. So I went to three different doctors. They couldn't figure out what the problem was. So my friend said, let's epigenetic test you. And I didn't know what that was at that time. And she explained to me, I said, sure, let's go. We need to find what the root of this problem is. And when those test results came back, she says, oh my gosh, here's what we think may be your problem. But I went to the doctor out in Texas who did some additional testing to found that one, I had a vaccine damage. Two, I had a parasite that was eating me alive from the inside out.
Wow.
Um, I had a candida, which is yeast, and I
Mm,
had an Epstein-Barr virus, which most of us have all of those, but when they are compounded with other things, they can really start to take over your body.
mm.
So I started learning about my body and what I needed to eat better. And then I found this nutritional genomics testing. I said, I need to do that now and see what else I need to cut out of my eating habits. So I did. I cut out the breads. I cut out the carbs. I will have rice once in a while, but it's a rare thing. Um, and I mostly go around the outside of the grocery store and eat meat and fresh vegetables
I
or
love that.
frozen
Yeah.
vegetables.
I love that. I've heard that before. When you want to
Yeah,
shop in a supermarket, do it on the outer aisles, not on the inner
exactly.
aisles, because that's mainly the and processed foods and sugary, lollies and drinks and all of
Right.
that sort of thing. That's that
And for,
easier reach.
and for your listeners outside of Australia, because I don't know if you can get it on your app or not, there's an app called the Yucca, Yuka. And it's a little carrot on the app. And when you scan UPC codes, either on cosmetics or foods, it tells you if there's any hazardous ingredients, it tells you what the ingredient is, and then if you keep tapping down, it tells you how it destroys your body.
Oh, wow. Right, okay. Destroy
So
is such a hard word, isn't
I
it? But
know
it's
it,
but
but it
it's
does it
it does
causes
have a
difficulty
severe
breathing.
impact. Yeah, it does
Yes,
have
thank you.
such. Yeah,
Retract that, destroy. Severe impact, yes.
yeah.
Perfect.
So, Patty, what advice would you give to someone in regards to health and wellness who wants to supplement?
Well, if you're looking to have a healthy aging with longevity and vitality, um, learning about your DNA, your health DNA, certainly gives you the opportunity to live a stronger, healthier life. But not only you, your genes, again, are passed down to your children. So
Mm.
what you're feeding to yourself, you want to have your children checked and start to feed them properly. Because I know the schools don't always feed them the right things, and they get to school and they don't always eat the right things either. So um, that's just, I guess, mostly the part of it. Um, and genetic variations again can cause problems with our nutrient absorption. So if we're not absorbing the proper nutrients, we could end up with other deficiencies going on. So um,
Yeah.
I do have a book out on Amazon. It's called The DNA Advantage. Um, and I think it's a good basic book because I wrote it from the time I started to when I finished it, my knowledge base there. Um, and it gives you a
An
good idea.
overview.
I
Yeah.
break down the genes and tell you what you shouldn't eat with those genes and how you should and shouldn't exercise as well.
Oh, well, that's really important. Well, that
Yeah.
seems like this can give you such an overview of what's healthy for your life in terms of your genes, your food, your exercise, what is actually specific for you. And that's all what we want, really, isn't it? And a tailored approach to our own health. We want to work out what's good for us, not what's good just for everybody. This has been really interesting, Patty, and thank you so much for coming on the show. And if anybody would like to reach out to Patty, all her details will be in the show notes. She can help you where you can get the kit and also interpret those results for you. Thank you,
Exactly.
Patty.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for interviewing.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
I would love to know, what was the biggest insight or aha moment you got from this interview? So you can now speak up, take action, and make informed decisions for your health. And if you like this episode, get instant access to your free ebook, Alternative Wisdom Taking Back Control of Your Health, at life-onus.com.